Here we are. Final map here to determine which of these two teams is going to be locking themselves a position in Pro League. A lot is on the line right now here for both of these rosters, and only one of them at the end of this map is going to be getting that position here. We'll see who it's going to be. 9Z, they need a lot of redemption after that last map here. We'll see if they can get off to a quick start. As Henny is denying them once again.
What a double there from Henny off the rip. And oh my goodness, now how does 9Z respond? We were hoping to maybe get a bounce back from them in the pistol to maybe settle down the individual prowess of Imperial, but so far it looks primed and ready for Henny to continue what he showed on Nuke. Another triple kill from him. Buddha and DGT are going to try their hardest to muscle their way into this B site, and sure, Buddha gets one, but it's right back to the grindstone for Phelps with his dualies. I mean, this guy's gotten multi-kill after multi-kill with these, right? Like, on every map in this series so far. It's been ridiculous.
I mean, this is, the worst possible start to this map here is just having Henny say, I'm gonna do it to you again. I'm gonna get that same result. We're gonna run this one back here as you just walk out mid. There goes your entire default, right? If you wanted to take mid control and Henny's rocking like that right there, maybe you're gonna have to rethink your whole game plan again. I mean, just nightmare fuel for this map right now for 9Z as they walk into the same person, the same man that's been shutting them down over and over again. Out towards the middle, they'll try and claim Phelps. It's another nice little triple up there with the MP9. And Buddha and Martinez again left to just try and chunk some damage off of these players. With nothing really given, to be honest with you.
A great little cash injection there for Phelps. And now Vinny should be primed for a quick double here as well. Martinez and co would love a bomb plant, but there's no way you're checking for this kind of aggression this early on to the half. It's really tough for Imperial for 9Z rather to get anything done in that round. But talk about the beatdown in just those first two rounds already. I mean, you already talk about the kind of mentality that they have to overcome when it comes to this map of Mirage. But to have that kind of a beatdown in the first two rounds does not spell a pretty picture here for 9Z.
Absolutely.
See if they can bounce back.
That's to quickly answer the call of the same old problems here. Once again, the way that they're doing it here, it's going to be familiar for 9Z, and in the back of their minds, again, they know that they have some potential to shut things down, but this time not as aggressive on this mid control, this mid endeavor. They're playing a bit of a slower game here on the side of Imperial. Saying, hey, you can take this mid control. But I imagine they'll have some plans to pluck it on back here. Henny going to be the one here to lead some of the initiative. A little HE for the smoke could be interesting. It's going to maybe catch a player up catwalk. There's that HE. And there's the opening pick. Wazo Peak walks right on into it.
But they've got to go straight back at Vinny. They're going to accelerate here. We've seen how much prowess this guy can have when he was on the likes of Furia and even on Imperial, but it can only get that last little dink. New Way is there to respond in the trade, and with that, I think the bomb plant is also denied. Henny finally goes down, and I think the bomb can be retrieved at this point. But look at No Way, man. He gets another one. How do you even plant this bomb? No, you can't. Buddha's just going to start a stand-in duel. But it's up to Decenty out in the clutch. Ooh. Buddha with a beautiful snapback. I thought Decenty had his number. But what a clutch there from the young gun. Magical stuff there for 9Z. And that's the kind of round that you would need to really command some respect from Imperial in this early stages of Mirage.
You gotta have a round like that here to shut down some of the momentum, the steal here that's taking place on the other side of things right now on this camp of Imperial. The way that they've been winning out on these clutches consistently over and over again, pressing the issue right now, and then having that sort of redemption round right there is massive. Huge relief coming through from the form of Buddha with the rifle here. No Way up middle though, does catch Martinez. It makes it a double there. Henny with the setup. No Way with the knockdown right there. And it couldn't last much longer, could it? Here, Vinny tasked with this B-side defense. Did great work last round with only the MP9 and looking to replicate. I think he made a slight sound cue here. Buddha might be unaware. But no, still gets the info here. And without that early success, there's no escape either. Henny will cut him off on the retreat. So maybe you had a nice little clutch. You had your day in the sun there, 9Z. But right back to a rainstorm there.
And with that going down to a 1v1 in the previous, the economy is not in the greatest spot as well. So, minute left on the clock, and I think Huaso and DGT would love to hold on to these guns. Kind of say, we could force it in the following if we want to around these guns. But there's just no chance to dig back through the defense here for 9Z, and they'll just have to hang their heads through round number 4. And I mean, what a wonderful setup there for No Way. I mean, this is one of the maps where you can allow your stars to just be let off the leash a little bit more. The plays can be very simple, and you can still get these players activated. I mean, we've seen the kind of explosiveness that No Way has, and now on Mirage, it looks like he's unleashed.
Yeah, man, possessed with some of these opening gambits right there, set up by Henny. And you have the multi-dimensions of Imperial here so far as well, right? It's not just a one-man show. I feel like it was kind of a checklist when you talked about Imperial on that map of Nuke, where maybe Henny was the first part of that checklist. If he succeeded, then no one else was really required. But right now you can see like Henny's still willing to be able to set up his teammates here, despite having a good map already and showing up brilliantly. He still has that confidence, but he doesn't need to be the man that's given the resources every round. He can instead be the one that can help out his teammates as well. So it's good to see right there. I mean, again, a player that definitely deserves to take some initiative and take some of the reins on this game. He's still willing to get these young guys the tools they need to succeed.
Vinny burns from 100, or sorry, Buddha burns from 100 to 0. I'm not really sure how that happened. That looks like it's an underpass. That might have been
Deep apartments, maybe in kitchen.
Deep apartments.
It must be in kitchen.
Yeah, okay, that's probably what it was. Yeah, but that's not a good look. Sure, he only had a Glock, but that couldn't do anything good to the mental of 9Z.
I mean, just infuriating at the very least,
Yeah.
So incredibly frustrating, but there you go. No Way with one extra jiggle right there, and he gets punished on it. That's a great stuff from Martinez here to equalize at the very least. Finding yourself in a 4v4 now. The opportunities, I mean, still a pretty decent bit of firepower here as he just about misses them on the inbound up connector. Coverage coming through here. There's a nice little setup right now. One towards Firebox, one over there towards CT spawn. Henny could be in for a bit of a surprise, but there's no flashes to be thrown his way. He turns his attention elsewhere. Scope's been hurt, I believe. DGT gonna give him a swing. Baits the op shutout, but Henny's still able to escape. It's gonna come down to this Firebox position here. Decency strikes. Good for one and a double.
There it is.
But it is gonna be on Martinez. He's the only one with the rifle right now, and he missed his early op shot, so gets it on the second at least. And Jungle's still cut off. All of them gonna have to rotate through CT, but oh, this is so smart. Baits out Huaso peek to chase. Phelps will get a freebie, but more proactivity coming through from Martinez here. Another one from Martinez. Whips out the sidearm. He misses, but he gets a second chance. And still, Imperial will contain their lead.
Oh my goodness, the awareness to check jungle there, even after, with one bullet left in the chamber. He switches over to the sidearm, and it's Henny on the low HP, but just can't complete it. I mean, what a beautiful sequence there for Martinez. But man, Henny still has got the clutch gene in him. 4-1 now for Imperial. And I mean, thankfully for 9Z, they'll still have a buyout here considering they got the bomb plant. But they would have loved to get away with that round. What an effort.
Yeah, it would have just been a huge relief right there. So much could have kicked off the back of that. I mean, it would have been 2 massive clutches for your 2 rounds, but that's what you need right now. It's a little bit of life in you. Decent. He somehow manages to readjust his aim right there on the Buddha. but it does leave this A side vulnerable. They're left outside looking in right now in these smokes. No smoke towards CT just yet, though. Phelps, he's not going to make the play just yet, though. Continues to hide behind it. Continues to bide his time here for his teammates to pluck him out through this smoke, and that's exactly what No Way's just done. Chases him, but Wassup gives Vinny something to think about right there. Still, Phelps is close by. Finally makes a sound cue, dropping in, and he's good for 2. He waits, and finally gets his opportunity to strike. And it is so perfect here. Fully blinded up Martinez. Another chance for the clutch, but running slowly out of time right now. As they will go for the peak, they start to close in on his location, and a safe round there for Imperial.
Bold peaks there from Huaso, and he actually got rewarded for quite a bit, but there's just not enough for them to find in the post plant. Decency does well to get his first, but No Way has some great spam lineups before the bomb even goes down, and the retake job goes swimmingly there for Imperial. 5-1 now. And with the max loss bonus, with the bomb plants, 9Z can continue to recycle these buys and continue to at least stay close in terms of the economy behind the Imperial and keep them honest. But we don't want another repeat of Nuke to come out where they just get all of these rounds and then the comeback is a nigh impossible situation. They're going to try to press the issue here from A main early, as Decency will be caught between a rock and a hard place. Henny is there to try to help out, but he actually just isn't able to get anything either. So this crunch looks really promising here for 9Z.
There you go, Henny able to find one finally, and No Way will take the advantage. It so quickly falls apart. Vinny strikes from CT, and this retake is so incredibly composed. It's breaking down Martinez. We've seen him here before. Can he show up right now as they close him down? Eventually Phelps will land it. I mean, just so systematic. There was never a chance, and it looks so good, right? 9Z, you think they have something going right there with the site control, but they start to get plucked out of the server piece by piece, and it's all a part of the plan at some point for Imperial to give this A space up, to kind of let 9Z get into these post plants, but then rip it away from them so quickly.
Yeah, unfortunately, it felt a little too telegraphed there from 9Z and Huaso's connector lurk. It felt like he had a bit too much pace on it. Before that smoke fades, the only place that Imperial members could look is connector at that point, or you'd be spamming. So, I mean, great awareness from Imperial's end, but there's a couple little missteps, little mistimings here from 9Z that could have given them a way back in. And you can only ask so much of Martinez in these clutch situations. I mean, he can pull out some theatrics for you here and there, but we can't ask for him to 1v3 almost every one of these post-plan situations. It's just not possible.
Yeah, it's gonna make for some really fun late rounds, right? Because he can maybe get 1 or 2 of them. He can maybe get in a position where you think it's possible, but like you said, you can't have it consistently. It has to be one of those situations where you rely on it once a half here. Something along those lines. That's been the position they've been left in most of these A-side plays. And if you're Imperial, you'll take that any day of the week if you can keep these retakes going and continue to develop that mid control, pressure that B side of the map there, and really just have your anchors play a smart game on this A side. They do have a little bit more reinforcement though, more resources put on this A side of the map right now than in the past, and we'll see if that leads to just a straight up site hold.
I'm gonna try to again test this A main. They really want to go at Decency as much as they can, but it said it's going to be this Palace phase fight. And nobody actually bites first. Decency, it's just a matter of timing, and he does get his bell rung, but the fight is won for Decency. Henny can now chime in even with that low HP, and a 5v3 for 9Z to overcome. They're going to continue to try to contact their way through. Great timing there onto No Way. Huaso gets a lot of space in the stairs, but time continues to dwindle, and 9Z have to pounce it inevitably.
Have to take some space here soon. Still waiting things out, waiting to cut off rotations here, but slowly inch their way up. Decency is still something you have to worry about there, and Definitely should be feared, but he's taken down quickly. Martinez with a great entry. They take a fight towards Catwalk. That is bold. That's ambitious, but it ends up panning out. It's a quick 1-for-1 trade. Bomb being planted. Henny doesn't go for the spam. Instead, he just goes for the top ropes and gets sent packing there pretty quickly. Vinny left last man standing, and with only 12 HP, we might be able to see 9Z get their second on the board, and a little bit of relief comes from these young guns here as Max closes it out.
Gets a little dicey there in the 5v3, but 9Z handle it very well under pressure. Credit to Huaso for contacting that smoke, catching off No Way, gives them a little bit of breathing room. They understand that Decency will not have a trade potential underneath Balk, and then at that point, Henny can't really get involved with that low HP. So even though that opening pick doesn't go in the way of 9Z, eventually they can capitalize after. So 6-2 in favor of Imperial, and I mean, with how many close rounds there have been so far in this game, the finances are not the prettiest for the Brazilians. No Way on a Deagle, Vinny on an MP9. And so there's definitely still room for 9Z to claw their way back into this game. And boy, would they love to keep this competitive, start to make Imperial sweat a little bit more for this Pro League spot, because, again, can't stress this enough. Single elimination, third map decider, winner goes to Malta.
Having to fight through some tough teams as well. Both of these rosters. I see know that they have a lot on the line here, but look at this. Phelps perfectly positioning himself for one quick kill and getting out of dodge right now. It caught on some awkward timings. That utility's going to burn him down, though. Decenty gets a freebie with the molly right there. But that molly, that sacrifice that was made right there from WoW, so it does at least allow them to scale in towards the bomb site. And that is going to put all the extra pressure here on 9Z to close out in the post plant. As you can see here, Flash is going towards CT. They're getting into good positions here, but can they remain comfortable?
There's no retake utility as Imperial have had previously, but we've seen how efficient they are in the retake. Time continues to rot away. Only a kit on the back of Vinny, so he's going to have to get up close and personal as quick as possible. Buddha gets his first, but there's Henny to chime in on the DGT. Decent T is chiming in as well. It's only Martinez left up in the clutch. The kit is picked up, and again, just a clean, decisive retake there from Imperial, and it just feels like this part of the map is their domain. It doesn't matter what part of the round it is.
Not really panicking in these late round situations here, which is so promising. It's exactly where you need them here, just showing that composure, keeping their calm in really chaotic situations. It is not easy to pull these plays back, pull these sites back. I mean, 3v4 A-side retakes here, especially when you're up against Martinez in a post plant. The guy's so good at trying to find these duels, but you can see how hard he's working in that round right there to try and find somebody in the 3v4 to equalize the numbers and help out his teammates. And he just couldn't get what he was looking for. No one was giving him a fight that he wanted on his own terms right there. Instead, they got swung into, he got traded, and that was all she wrote on that round. And that's a large credit to Imperial knowing what to do right now in these late round situations and early rounds as well. As Max, I mean, how many rounds have you seen him just plucked out right around the smokes here? He has had a real tough day at the office here these last two maps right now, and more pain added.
And we've seen the kind of individual impact he can have even as the captain of this squad. Having him sidelined for 9Z does not make things look too pretty. DGT will still have another opportunity on this Palace lurk, a little bit of a timing. How aware is Decency? I think he spotted the barrel there, and now Noe's definitely spotted things out. Phelps gets another onto Huaso, and the 5v3, players just continue to bleed off of 9Z. They can't get any headway into this A site.
Wow.
They're just so adamant to try to take this side of the map, and nothing is working for them. When will the game plan come through?
Yeah, I mean, when will it change here? When will they reroute on this this T side? Is the same problem here of walking into what feels like either a brick wall or a retake that's an unstoppable force right now for Imperial. And it's a complete understanding of what 9Z want to do in most of these rounds here from the side of Imperial, and they are just abusing that over and over again. DGT, so rare to see this guy nullified here, but when you talk about the entry prowess he can bring to the table, he's obviously a huge influence on 9Z, and he is left at 0 and 9, so, you know, lacking a severe bit of that entry prowess that you can usually rely on for 9Z. That's usually just a staple.
They've purchased in again here, and finally there's a little bit more B-leaning of a play from 9Z in terms of the default, but the bomb is still in Palace. I'm not sure if there's a bit of a fake trying to be sold here, but they want to try and win another A retake. Here comes the A play. Henny takes out one into Huaso, and they should be able to deal with this B prong, no problem. Okay, I say that. Henny is now caught in an awkward scenario. He finally goes down, and the jig is up. 9Z do get the plant. No way goes down. But, I mean, sure you get the plant, but we've got to see one of these retakes work out in their favor, or else it just seems a little foolish.
This has to be the post plant that they win here. It's a long time ball off the clock and great post plant positions. And there you go. Finally, DGT on the board there. Late round situation. Gets the follow up. He's looking to close. Max stands beside him here. Missed op shot from Henny. Sidearm is brought out, but still can't connect the shots. And DGT, once he arrives onto the server, once we call upon his name, he is finally able to step up, and 9Z find themselves 3 at the very least. But I would say just to shut down this sort of momentum, this sort of spree that's been taken by Imperial, you need to slow this down, and right now they got an opportunity to do so.
Yeah, I mean, Imperial bit so hard on that fake. I'm surprised that they bit so hard on that fake. 4 players on that B site that you leave No Way in such a sticky scenario. He can't even actually get anything. And finally, with how much time was rotted off the clock, they were given a reasonable retake to win. But I feel as though they would still love to get this 4th, salvage this half as much as possible. Sure, you're able to get one of those gimmick plays in your favor and try to start to swing the momentum back, but you've got to replicate it at least once more. And then we can have that conversation of a big comeback being a little bit reasonable. But 9Z decided to slow the pace down yet again. They feign a little bit of mid presence, and now No Way has made his way all the way up to boxes. But tried and true, Max wants to go back at this A site, and they've got quite a bit of utility to at least get the bomb down yet again.
They do. Some chances here to take some initiative. Back to that A side here. Once again, trying to challenge this side of the map here, but Phelps at 130 ADR. I mean, look at the position, look at the angle. He is so perfectly posted up and makes it a double. Helped out by Decent T. Just a quick trade required. And this A execute is shut down once again here. And now you're waiting on the lurk that you know is coming through here because you're no stranger to 9Z. It's no surprise. The footstep. Oh, there you go.
Oh, God. Oh, no.
Get him up there, man. Get him up there.
God, the commitment and the recommitment is just so ugly. Vinny goes through the Molotov. And Martinez, man, he's had a hell of a map 3, but no rounds to really back it up. What can you do? No Way with the final frag. 9 rounds for Imperial, inching their way ever closer to that Pro League spot. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, it's straight into that final half of this open qualifier.
Absolutely electric start here, and looking for an electric finish is Imperial, as 9Z find themselves with a whole lot of adversity they need to overcome if they want to keep themselves alive and an opportunity to go to Pro League here. We've got 5 pieces of armor and 5 players rushing it down middle here, very quick as they split up here and diverge in towards the A and B bomb site.
All over the shop here are Imperial. Fights coming off of Cat, fights coming off of Connector and Jungle, and there's one domino to fall. Henny gets the one onto DGT. Henny gets a second onto Huaso as well, trying to now bully Buddha on the back of the B site. It's only him. He goes down with nothing, and Imperial have themselves a bomb plant. They got themselves primed and ready for a 10th, unless Martineza and Max can put on some heroics. But they get double swung, triple swung, and double digits reached for the Brazilians. Imperial are just a couple rounds away from Malta.
They really are just looking to coast their way to closure here. How they've been looking right now. So incredibly close to that finish line, they can taste it. And it would be just a confident reverse sweep, man, without much of a chance. We're talking 2 rounds there on Nuke to talk about for 9Z, and potentially only 3 if this keeps up. Forced buys is the reaction here from 9Z. And, I mean, kind of does show the signs of the times right now. They feel the need to lift off early, and I'm sure they're feeling a whole lot of pressure right now. Collapse in towards the same main, dealt with, spotted out by No Way, and there is no way you're turning that corner. Wait, no, there is a way. they're gonna fall. I mean, that is so bold right there. And it just gets punished.
There's no way you double dip that pun, man. There's just, I can't believe it.
I was waiting for my chance right there. Thank you, No Way, for that opportunity. And thank you for such a brilliant name. Now we'll see if they can close this out decent T as they take it towards that A farm site. They're looking to collapse in. Martinez doesn't last too much longer here as he does land a nice little tag, and Max will finish with the frag, but another one here actually. Max is making something of this round. With that being said, though, the rotates are being cut off. The collapse is coming through. How is Max still standing? Low HP, but ends it with another one. And now Buddha left into the clutch, picks up the scout. He's got the telescope for Connector. He actually takes the AK instead. A valuable gun here. He taps the bomb. Phelps gets him quickly off of it right there with the quick spot. Jumps in towards jungle as well. And just a little too difficult to deal with here is Phelps in this clutch right now. With time ticking, it's past half ticked. There's simply not enough time for Buddha to get this defused. And we're talking about another one on the board here. Imperial will shut down the force.
I think there'll just be constant force buys to end out this game, especially bringing it down to the 1v1 for Buddha. But what a well-orchestrated 1v1 there from Phelps. Great movement to get himself into window on that first jump. Pretty much as silent as you could make it. And again, the Brazilians just looked too clean here. Credit to Max to try to pull it back as much as possible with an MP9 and a Dream. And he'll get an A1S to reward himself for it. But that's about it. Buddha's has a saved AK. Martinez gets a saved from, or sorry, gets to purchase a FAMAS. And we get a little bit more of that MP7 action. So hip hip hooray for that.
Half-hearted there, hip hip hooray.
I hate it, man. I hate it.
There's not a lot to be happy about. If you're 9Z right now, it's so frustrating here. Walking into such a tough team. And again, this would be back-to-back events that you really were looking to qualify for, but you just can't quite finish the job there. Same problem arises in that RMR. And, you know, the way that they started off this year with an incredible result to qualify for an IEM in Chengdu. But obviously, pathway becomes a little bit more muddy. As Imperial are looking to claim that spot in Pro League, and Martinez hits the sideline early. There's a collapse, so Vinny isn't going to be long for this world, and Vinny turns, or rather Max turns for another one, so Vinny and Phelps both eliminated, and there's a lot on this A side that's waiting for them.
And a great timing there from DGT punishes Decency, and that A-sided lurk that Imperial wanted to pounce on a little later in the round cannot come through, and this time Shoes on the other foot. Imperial's got a save, And finally, a heroic max round nets them a round win.
Yeah, leaning on him now for back-to-back rounds and great output. And we'll see how long that can keep them alive here, how long that'll keep them running. It wasn't enough in the last round, but obviously right here, just shutting down the entire mid-prong of approach. So impactful, so much impact right there coming through from the leader there of 9Z. But now he's going to need to take that leadership here, take it the extra mile here. As job far from over, but you can be happy about the damage, the pressure that you've just put in a round like that right there.
You got to keep 4 alive as well. The money is sustainable for at least a final hurrah should Imperial get themselves match points. So you've got a bit of runway in that sense, and all the bells and whistles in terms of the utility as well. Imperial will have to bring through pots and pans on the back of Vinny and Decency. But No Way will have himself a rifle, Henny and Phelps as well. So maybe something a little bit more pacier considering they're on a pretty tame buy when it comes to the utility. Usually I like those more contact heavy plays to try and overwhelm somebody like a 9Z when they have all these bells and whistles. But quick tech pause here to just sort things out as we just need a little bit of a break.
Just a little pause in the action. Slight breather. Rolling on through here. I don't think that's going to do too much slowing down on Imperial. We saw the way that they were able to close out. Just doesn't look like a lot can slow this team down at the moment. But Max has a little something special for him in these last couple of rounds that they're going to need to lean on here. They're going to need to live on. Coming through. I mean, an unlikely character here to kind of call upon this late into the game, but I feel like the perfect one if Max can start to do something here, start to rally the troops. That can be so impactful. We'll see if he's that guy, as it is a bit of a half buy rolling through for Imperial. And maybe looking for a faster A approach here. Just looking to run it down towards a site that, I mean, if they targeted right now, they would be so right. There's just so little presence on the site proper right now. Huaso Peak even transitioning towards stairs, but he's confident. Look at the duels he's taking right now. He's not shying away.
This is what Huaso is known for when he's very willing to duel. I like that early mid-control being taken by 9Z, but they don't see anything that suggests they can hold that setup for a longer amount of time. They're just going to try to pop flash their way in, Imperial. They'll have a single smoke to cross on the jungle peak. They'll try to get themselves into CT and at least get this bomb down, play the 5v5 out, and force 9Z to come to them.
Spam through the smoke right there. Playing in the post plant. Great coverage from Huaso Peak to find the man advantage. There's so much waiting in the CT spawn, but Martinez and Buddha combining their efforts right there. Beautiful spray transfer for your Phelps. Get a kill. Maybe start to dip on out here after that, but or stick around. Have some fun with it. But he doesn't last much longer there. Max will put an end to that one, and there's going to be 2 in a row. 2 on the trot, and it's going to put Imperial onto a bit of an eco, maybe half by territory that can start to build some confidence for 9Z. It's all going to start somewhere here. But uphill they go.
Slowly starting to build back into this game, and it's all going to lead back to Max and the impact he was able to do individually previously. I mean, we've seen this team commit to some pretty crazy comebacks in BO3's past, and what a way it would be if they could against the likes of an Imperial roster that has, in all honesty, shocked me, Cole. I'm happy to see just such a well-oiled machine here, and individually, these players have done very well across this best of 3 to prove that they're a caliber of team to be at Malta in season number 19.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. They're giving us that ability right now. 9C's not an easy team to take down here, especially when you're standing the map down in your own map pick. You had to pull it back in a reverse sweep. Shut down what has been a bit of a dominant map for 9Z, and do it in a dominant fashion here. But look at Phelps.
His movement's been so clean, man.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
mean, this is going to be tough to root out here. DGT going to do it, though. And he will be able to claim a freebie. Catches him on the side. I know. Boo-hoo.
All right.
Although, it's a little bit of a sacrifice of
Plant,
his
I think.
positioning. And yeah, you're talking about a bomb plant at the very least. Decent T. Not covered, though.
Ah.
No way. Unable to keep him at bay right there. And it'll just be Henny getting spammed out, chased down. Henny looking to fight for his life. Owasso Peak will put that to rest in 9Z. Now close the distance to 5 rounds here. Just 5 rounds to tie things up. Imperial still yet to claim that that 12th round, at least secure overtime.
Now they finally have a bye that they can be excited about. And as 9Z continue to climb back into this game, Imperial's defaults will have to give a little bit more respect on over. We saw the amount of effect it was in rounds previous where they were able to punish some of that mid-round aggression that 9Z were able to offer. And they're going to try another mid setup again, 9Z. Henny and Vinny are there to respond, and some underpass pressure as well. Give it a little bit of time, and we'll see if they can punish at all. Nades out for Max, and he goes down. DGT is there to trade, and there's Huaso with a beautiful double. And he's going to try to chime in, but it's a little too late. DGT is now alive and kicking as well, and suddenly it's Decenty the A-Lurk all alone. So an all-in offense to middle gets completely decimated by 9Z, and we're starting to build that conversation here, Cole. There is still room for 9Z to maybe make a game out of this one.
Yeah, I mean, and I think both you and I have seen 9Z manage to make some magic happen when crunch time comes around here so many times. So it's a reason you just can't count these young players out of this game whatsoever. When Imperial looks so confident, but you just give something from 9Z, and especially if it's Max that can start to facilitate that with a big little mid defense from him. And now you see Huaso Peak and DGT fill in the feed. These are all signs here that 9Z can, take it the distance and put a massive scare on Imperial. You just can't count these guys out whatsoever. We've seen it too many times with this roster in the past. So Lifeline's starting to be discovered here. But of course, it's still a tough task.
We're getting in those later stages of the game, and at the end of the day, whoever gets 13 rounds wins the game, right? And goes to Malta. It doesn't matter how you get there. It doesn't matter if it's ugly. It doesn't matter if you got blown out in map 2. You nearly lost map 1. At the end of the day, if you win the best of 3, nobody's gonna care. When the Pro League broadcast begins, people are gonna say 9Z came through the open qualifier, and that's that. So 4 rounds the difference now for 9Z, and they're gonna continue to try to start this conversation as Imperial are gonna have to take a save. Decency will have the saved AK into this one, and maybe he can get something done individually. Phelps actually hero buys his Galil as well. So a little bit more firepower injected into this round to try to keep the economy honest. But in all honesty, 9Z's economy's ballooned to a point where I don't even think these rifles are there to stifle the economy. It's just there to try to win the round. Wow. Just absolute domination here from 9Z. Not really any room for these rifles to get rolling. And there's the 8th round now for 9Z. Pretty comfortable, all things considered. And the guns will come out again for Imperial. Zach will come on the mic. And now you can start to feel a little bit of pressure building in that Imperial camp.
Yeah, this is a scary spell right now. That's a quick and easy defense right there. Shutting that one down with no troubles. And it's going to put some concern there. Like you said, getting Zach to come on down here and start to talk about how they want to close out this game, how they want to shut this team down. And if you're on the side of Imperial, you probably do have a good game plan as to how you want to slow this momentum down from this team. But so far, I mean, just really good defenses, confident holds coming through from 9Z. This is the last place you want to be for Imperial, just letting this team inch their way back into this game right now.
What is the game plan from Vinny? I mean, we've called on his IGLing throughout, prior to this best of 3 actually beginning. And, I mean, he's really risen to the task. He called a great nuke. We didn't really have to call much of a nuke with Henny, but called a great Anubis. And had a great half for Imperial on Mirage at least. But when the pressure's on the line, when your team is having to close out this game, what do you call to potentially get your team back in the running and put this comeback to bed? And right now, it just feels like a lot of respect and a lot of defaulting, really. And hope and pray that you can punish some over aggression here from 9Z.
And there's still a lot of CT side proactivity is rolling through right now. You have Martinez handling deep apartments control with his AWP, which is perfect for a round like this, where I think he's going to get some action, potentially. And then elsewhere, you can really start to bolster up the other parts of the map. I mean, you can just leave this guy as a solo B defender, put a lot of emphasis on middle, but that's that CT side aggression they were hoping for here. More proactivity rolling through, though, from this CT side, and they will find an equalizer at the very least. Repositioned here. Martinez, he's now going to hold off this 8 catwalk side with his AWP getting boosted. With the rifle, DGT will be able to pluck another one out there. Massive follow-up, and the mid-collapse continues to come through. As you mentioned it, 20 seconds now is all that they have left. They're panicking to get into this bomb site. Double up on the smokes right there. You can see the panic setting in. No trade. Huaso Peak will deny 2, and that's going to be the round straight up. There's just no time for Decency to make anything happen. And Huaso Peak will shut it down from Connector in the top of stairs.
9Z gaining steam, and that's probably their most dominant round when it comes to these buy rounds as well. And those are the types of rounds that I'm telling you, man. It really worries me when I watch Vinny call. They're hoping to get some kind of respect out of 9Z, punish some players, but if they're not getting anything, they're kind of at a standstill, and you can't be trying to take mid control with 30 seconds left on the clock. They're trying to do that phase 2 of their default with trying to take Connector so late that you're rushing things and you're walking straight into some crosshairs, and 9Z handle it very easily. You're starting to see pressure building in that Imperial camp, and that those nerves that this map is actually slipping away from them. They're going to try to have a Hail Mary A execute, but Huaso's going to smartly give away this A site and play for a retake.
A little bit of space given here. Huaso is going to, like you said, fall back a little bit, play for the retake. A little bit of pressure, though, as they dive through the smoke. The A4 good to maintain it. Actually, it's the op. That is the big factor right there. Martinez helping out his teammates, and Huaso Peak will also follow suit. One round here could close the distance unless they're able to make some work with the sidearms here. There's the collapse, and a double kill comes through from Phelps. He's starting to chirp up a little bit, but he doesn't have enough health to fight forward here. A 1v3 now asked of Vinny. His position revealed in the bottom of Connector. He's trying to deny this bomb. Defuse. He's going to have to rely on some smoke spam. He does land a nice kill, but right back in return there. Max will give it back, and double digits landed here from 9Z so incredibly quickly.
I appreciate just the simple pop call into A with an execute, but 9Z handle that process with flying colors. Imperial get really cheeky with it, trying to nade open the jungle smoke, trying to take some early duels, catch some 9Z players off guard. But even the Connector players did a great job. Huaso eventually swings out from CT, and the round is pretty much done and dusted. Sure, Phelps can try to pull something back with his antics on the Galil, but it's a little too late. Double digits now for 9Z, a buyout for Imperial, and we're starting to get to the tail end of this map 3. It's essentially do or die at this point. Great kill for Vinny to start off the proceedings, and he needs another, and he gets another. Max goes down. The IGL battle goes out in favor of the Brazilian, and now we set at a man advantage situation that Imperial have to close. So a whole minute left on this clock, and an opportunity for Imperial to shimmy back to the A site. They've still got enough utility for at least a jungle cross and Molotovs to flush out some angles. But the lean from 9Z is here. Martinez is here, and so is DGT.
In prime position right now. Martinez ready to cut off the cross, but he's just not giving anything just yet.
Wow.
And Vinny clears Firebox. DGT doesn't even know what hit him. Vinny going for more, but able to avoid the flashbang. And a quick kill from Martinez at least will keep it in contention right now. Martinez still holding on. Molly goes in towards the back of sight. It's a peek from Vinny. A 4K from Vinny right now as he finds the ball. An ace rolls on through. And that's how they figure out their way to series point, their qualification point right there. It's all off the back of the leader.
Vinny says, you know, I don't have to really call a crazy game if I just kill everybody, right? I mean, that's the greatest call of it all. I mean, this is everything Imperial could ask for. The captain just steps up and he says, you know what? I want to go to Malta. I'm done with this comeback. Let's close things out here. The pre-fire on the firebox and then just shut down to Martinez trying to start things up as well. I mean, wow. What a way to get themselves on a map point, but the job's not finished. The momentum still has to be completely quelled here, and they've got a lot of mid control to start things off. Martinez gets the opening, and Phelps cannot catch the fallback. So, not going to be an easy fight back, but that certainly helps. Phelps clearing out Max, and into the 4v4.
Kind of notes that there's another player hovering around connector as the refresh of the smoke just throws down. And there's another pick. Decent rocking an op. I didn't even realize that, but why not? Whatever it takes to try and close this map out there. Molotov to try and flush players out of position, but this A side is going to be where they finish, or at least attempt to. Decenty has a chance to cut off the rotations in CT spawn. DGT being a menace, though, will cut off 2. Up connector. Getting chased by Phelps now in return. Decenty adds another one to the feed here, but the flashbang is so well placed. Coming through from Decenty, it blinded up DGT. He couldn't quite get vision. It's just on a Martinez to save 9Z once again, but somehow Decenty with the AWP is going to finish the job, and Imperial are going to Pro League.